Okay. Let's not start that conversation.
Yeah.
Welcome to Behind Life Struggles, episode 4. I would like to welcome my guests. I'll start with the two in the corner. So first, Shayla, welcome. How you doing?
Hey, what's up? I'm good.
Next, we're gonna go to Lily. How you doing? Next, we're gonna go to Natural Love Song. How you doing?
Hey.
And last but not least,
One and
Tobias.
only. How's everyone doing? You good?
Yeah, man, we're good. You?
Yeah,
You ready tonight?
good.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah, 1 versus 3. You ready?
No, no, I'm alright. I'll survive. I'll be alright.
Cool. So we're first gonna start off with the current affairs for this week. Unfortunately, England didn't quite do it. Yes, but nevertheless, they tried. No one expected them to get to the final, so they done well. But the big but is, why is it that we are getting all these racism issues because 3 black players missed a penalty? I'll start with Tobias. What's your view on that?
Well, it's inherited racism into the football, basically. And obviously, when the English lose, or fans, the English fans, should I say, it just comes out and they can't help it. I mean, we're good to them when we're winning, when we're doing our best. But other than that, we're like crap to them. So there's no respect there, yeah. So it's just inherent racism in the game.
So, Shayla, do you think it's just an issue in the game? Because if you think about it, when it came to COVID, the government spoke to all these social media outlets. They made sure that they stopped any propaganda, as they called it, and to ensure that everyone took the vaccine. But it seems like when it comes to racism, that's the bottom of their agenda. What do you think?
See, I'm glad that you brought up COVID and this in the same topic. First, I highlight on your first one, the football side, is that it tells you that the government it's within the government, because even when they did the thing to kneel down, when they went to not to kneel down, during that time, the government had they didn't even try to speak on it as much as they would do COVID or a situation like that. They were very, they did kind of touch on it, but then he didn't really, care for it. Even now, not saying anything. Now there's a load of racism going on during the football situation as today. There's so much racism going on, but I'm not saying a word. But when it comes to COVID, all the BAME community needs to go and get it done. What do you mean? You're so concerned about us to go and get this jab, but you're not concerned about the people that are being racist towards us. You even brought out Prince Charles from the Buckingham Palace to come and speak about the COVID jab for BAME communities, but you don't bring him out to speak on the racism when it comes to football or with how it, they're not doing that, and it's actually terrible. Like, it's just disgusting. I think it's so bad. I have so much more to say, but I'm not even gonna get upset.
Feel free. Natural Love Song. What's your view on the government stance on racism? Do you think it's good enough?
Is anything about the government currently good enough? Come on, the government's stance on racism is predictable. They're a conservative government. Like, if you go back in time, the Conservatives were the ones that were saying, if you want an N-word for your neighbour, vote Labour. So, I mean, it hasn't changed that much, really. What's her name? The Home Secretary, when she was talking about the BLM process, the adjectives she decided to use were those dreadful protests. Those protests were dreadful. It's predictable. It's predictable. Yeah.
Lily, so do you think that the government should be doing more?
Yeah, I do think the government should be doing more. I feel like the coach on his own is doing all the best that he can, like saying that it's unforgivable. Like, from when a leader is speaking about it, being the head of that from when, like, the leader of England, the coach is actually saying, like, oh, it's disgusting, and it's unforgivable. Like, I feel like others should stand up for it as well, because what they're doing right now, if you see on like Twitter and Instagram, all they're doing is saying, oh, you did your best, blah blah. Like, they're talking about, they did all that they could, but they're not really talking about the negative, like how, people shouldn't be saying this, put a stop to that. It's more like, just ignoring the fact that there is racism there still. And I think that's one of the problems that we still have today, is like people ignore it to say that it's not happening currently. But you can clearly see that from football and from what happened, like the reaction, like trolls on Twitter or Instagram, however you like to put it, people making these accounts, calling people the N-word, and, saying that they're monkeys and putting all of these emojis there. But then there's leaders who are just saying, yeah, you did all you can, ignoring the fact that people are doing that.
Also, that I don't know if you've been out today, yeah, like the feeling being outside, you can tell that some people that still have, racism within them, they are being a certain way. It's actually like today I saw this young black boy. He was getting on the bus, right? Usually they let you just go on the bus, or if you say you're 16 and show the ID, you can get on the bus. The bus man was not having it. He was like, get off. But I thought, what happened to you? And he was wearing his England mask on his face. And I just thought, what happened to you? Because I know if it was yesterday coming home, you would have been like, the day before, you would have been like, yeah, it's fine, get on, lad, you scored for us. That's what you would have been saying.
I don't like, because what they do is target everybody else just because of, that person's skin color. Like, do you know what I mean? They target everybody else, every black person, no matter what shade you are, they're going to target you just because of what happened yesterday. And, it's, let's say, oh, I just feel like it was probably meant to happen. That was probably meant to happen yesterday, for everybody to see that, everything that happened during the pandemic and everything that we fought for during the pandemic, it's just literally unraveled. It was just literally fake. Like, a lot of people out there behind closed doors are probably even saying, oh yeah, it was the 3 black guys. That's it.
And it's so sad it had to be like.
And you know what? It's not even that. They're not even thinking about the fact that, Sanka, when he went out on the pitch, yeah, he went out on the pitch and it was like, I don't think he had enough adrenaline in him to get him pumped up, because he looked quite nervous as well. If you saw, like, falling on the ground, like, and also from when there's this big 36-year-old dragging him down to the ground, he should have got a red card, not a yellow card. Like, what was that about?
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. Couldn't agree more with you.
He's probably like the youngest person.
Yeah, he's 19 years old. Yeah, he is 19.
Like, inferior at that point. Like, and my manager's saying, for me to do a penalty, it's even more pressure. Like, and the other 2 points as well, he let them go on like last minute. Like, they're young, they're not. Do you know what I mean? I feel like it was just added pressure. Like, there was other people, other football players, that were more into the game, like for for a few years, longer than them, that could have obviously done it. But it just happened to be them 3. I'm not saying that it shouldn't have, but I mean, if the coach saw it from how we looked at it, like, from the football perspective, when you're watching on TV, it's different, because you can see it from every single perspective. You can see when someone's falling over, when someone's tired, you can see everything. But when you're a coach out there on the field, just looking straight on, how are you going to watch every single team player every minute? You can't even hear the commentator, what they're saying. Oh, look, Sterling's getting a bit tired. Because I saw Sterling, he obviously looked like he wanted to score goals. He was just looking to score goals.
Bare passion on this boy. Plenty to say. Let's go. Whoa.
My state starts on it anyway. But
I will clear up 2 points. Was one, in regards to obviously Saka being fouled. We don't want to sort of insinuate that that's anything to do with racism. It's just a football match. These things happen. It wasn't a red card. It in line with the rules of the game. But for me, I think that the government clearly could do more. even FIFA could do more. The fact that we're having the same old conversation year in, year out, it shows you that they have no interest.
Well,
So it's token. It's
Not
tokens at the end of the day. Like they just feel like they're just doing something for the black people. Oh, you know, we got to recognise, we got to see what improvements we can do within racism. But and also what I wanted to touch on quickly was that they don't generate enough money from it. I mean, they get a little bit of publicity to show that they're trying to make change. But the other massive pandemic we have, which is probably a little bit off topic, is knife crime. Now that doesn't get as much news coverage or doesn't get as much funding as anything else does. But because it's football, when it's a multi-billion-pound industry, or even with the COVID is a multi-billion-pound industry as well with the pharmaceuticals. There's not that much funding there, so the government obviously is very skeptical with where they want to put their interest in or where the interest lies. It's where the money is, it's where the interest is going to be.
At the end of the day, they've got vested interest in kind of speaking out of both sides of their mouth and making us feel as though they're doing something small towards it, so we can say, okay, they're trying. But Middle England, some of them, like, okay, so Susan living wherever, she might have a mixed race grandchild or whatever like that, so she's coming over a bit. But how many, if you look at that cross section of the UK, like they're not checking for, you know, equality really, like how, you know, we would want them to, because it's against their own interest at the end of the day. So the Conservatives, like we said, if you want an N-word for your neighbour, vote Labour. Like they ain't gonna do nothing, not anything real. And even if they were to put funds towards it, you can't change the hearts and minds of generations. You kind of need to wait for some of them to age out, die off, and then slowly things will change, you know, slow incremental. Like you can't flip a button and then everybody that was racist is no longer racist.
True. You must have saw in the news about a teacher who used the N-word. Now, when they used the N-word, it was more to explain about the country Niger. Yes, so they was explaining and do not get the word Niger mixed up with that other racist word. Yeah.
Okay.
So me and Jams and some of the boys were having a discussion in regards to whether or not that was appropriate, because I felt that you can have that discussion without having to say the word, especially when there's black people in that classroom, and it is offensive. So Jams thought that he felt that teachers should have a free license to say any words they want in the teaching environment. Now, this is to Tobias. Do you agree? Should teachers be freely allowed to say any words they want?
Not at all. I mean, everyone's got to have a form of decorum when speaking, especially in front of young black people or young black children, you know, especially where that negative word comes from. It shouldn't be used nowhere. But he's a highly intelligent guy, so he should definitely have thought beforehand how he should want to phrase his story to them about using these words, not come out right ass mouth about it. I think it's absolutely disgusting. But no, he should have been more delicate with what he was saying.
Okay, so Liz, same question to you.
I wasn't aware of the story, but I would definitely say that I would tend to agree with what Mark said, but also it depends on the age of the children that were involved. But I didn't see the story in the media, so it depends on the age of the children involved and the kind of complexity of the conversation having with them. If they're at an age where that's something that you can say because they're kind of already aware of it and it's really in a specific context, then I could see, but it depends on what age the children are. And you, as a teacher, secondary age children, okay. Yeah. No, I don't believe that teachers should just have carte blanche to say whatever in the course of their duty, but it does kind of depend. Yeah, I missed the story, so
when you say it kind of depends, okay.
yeah.
So are you saying then, if the classroom that you're teaching is at an age where they don't know about it, are you saying then you think it's appropriate for you as a white teacher to educate everyone in a class about that word?
No.
Okay, so
when I say it depends, okay,
Mhm.
so for me, I'm thinking about a black teacher giving a lesson on this topic is going to be more acceptable, because you're talking about a word that would have been thrown at you in a derogatory word, you know,
okay,
so in a derogatory way. So you explaining to the class or whatever, that's that you've totally kind of taken away some of the poison out of the word, because it's literally about you.
yeah,
But if
I get
it's a white person or someone from another race using the word, then inevitably someone is going to go away feeling negatively about what's been said. Yeah, so I'd just avoid it, to be honest. Yeah, you could have said that without using the word. You could have said,
Yeah.
make sure you don't say the racist word that we all know that's very near to the word Niger, or you know, you could have, of course you could have.
Lily, do you think that you can teach effectively without using the negative word?
Yeah, you can, because all you have to say is, this is the word, just like apple, or pronounced apple, or this is the word Niger, pronounced Niger, and break it up. Like, no one needs to know about. Kids are not stupid. Do you know what I mean? Like with oh, that word looks like this word. Like, do you know what I mean? But it's just about the pronunciation. It's not about, don't get this mixed up with blah blah blah. When you've already explained it to the child that this word means X, Y, Z, it's a country, that's it. Like, you know, the kids are going to go off in the playground and be like, oh, that word reminds me of blah, blah, blah. Oh, did you think that too? Blah, blah. They're going to have their own separate conversation. But from when the teacher's brought it up now, especially a teacher of different race, it becomes a different problem. And now the kids are more even engaged because they're thinking about what you're going to say next. And that's that. And that's probably how it got to the tabloids, to be honest.
And there's going to be like in the classroom that's going to go around saying to the other kids,
exactly.
oh, no, I didn't mean that.
They could use that against them. Yeah.
And I was gonna say that, you know, with, I don't know what this teacher is trying to do, but it sounds like he wants to go back to, you know, whatever odd years ago and start that whole, you know, I don't know, when people used to whip people in class, what we're going to be doing next, like, you know, slapping our hands on the books, like what's going to happen, like what's he playing at? It doesn't make any sense.
So
because then when he starts talking about it,
yeah,
and you know, freely inside the educational like system, then you know they're probably going to end up using it. The teacher's going to end up using it loosely in their little head office talk, and then maybe one of the children are going to hear it. Everyone's going to start saying it to each other now, and then how are they going to stop that? How are they going to control that? Unless they turn the whole school into an academy, like, come on.
So in regards to the outcome, so when he done that, there were some complaints from some of the black students in the class. So they went off and the head found out about it, and then they were asked to write a statement about what happened. Then now the teacher is now up for a disciplinary, so he potentially could be sacked, obviously depending on the review. So Shayla, do you think he should be sacked?
The teacher, he's not stupid. Yeah,
Come on.
he knew what he was doing. I've been to school, right? And they don't educate me and don't get the word mixed up with, no, he was trying to be funny. He trying to underline it. I'm sorry, but I don't believe you need to go and sit there and educate a bunch of secondary school kids on not to use the word to get the school, you know, you're not going to sit there and be like, okay, so these are all the countries. Now this and this mean this is this. Oh yeah, and by the way, don't get this word mixed up with this one. No. And then if he wanted to deliver that, there's a way that he could have delivered it easier. But some people don't even spell the word, you know, the way they spell it. They put the star there, and he could even say, "This is that word. I'm sure you might have heard. If you have not, then you know it's in a lot of music. There you go. But this is the country. But come on, why is it? First, I would like to. I don't know. I don't think he's gonna get sacked first. Personally, I think what your friend said, Jams, it's gonna probably stand up to that he has the free will of saying certain words because he's a teacher. But they need to delve into what he was teaching, why he was teaching that, why did it stop? So why was it just...
He was teaching a geography lesson.
Yeah, but the thing is, I have had geography. They need to get their parents in there then. Because
Geography?
I had geography talk to me, and that's never
Geography?
I'm sure
You're
joking. I'm sure a lot of people had geography talk to them, and not many teachers have ever mentioned it, said that. He was trying to be funny. And when did he mention it? After? Was it after the football pandemic? Was it before?
This was before the whole football.
Either way, he was trying. I don't know where he's from, what country he's from. He's trying to be funny because I'm sorry. These are grown secondary school kids. They're not 7-year-olds. They're not primary school children. He's not gonna get sacked though. Of course not. Probably a bunch of same colored people as him on the panel line gonna be telling him, oh, you can use he's a teacher. He should be able to move freely with words.
No.
And teach. How can he teach without moving freely?
Oh,
that's just nonsense.
No, that's totally against it.
Naturally, last song.
Yeah, I think that when I said depends, this is the point I wanted to remember to say. Like, it depends if you're dealing with like English or English literature and you're dealing with a historical text where the people that are in the stories are going to use that word, and then you're explaining the context of a particular literary text. That's one thing. Geography belongs, sir. No. That's a joke. That's a joke. When you said geography, that's a joke. That's a joke. No, absolutely not. And in these days, when people are getting cancelled and they want, I hope the parents go for blood. Geography.
Well, that wasn't the only one.
I don't think he's going to get sacked. I think he's going to get a fair.
Yeah, disciplinary, because there was a female teacher that did the same thing.
Geography. I'm triggered. Geography.
Yes.
No. He knew what he was doing. He's highly educated. He knew what he was doing. He should get more than this.
He's educated. Yeah.
Yeah, he's highly educated. He knew what he was talking about. He's trying to be smart, because English people do tend to be that smart with their mouths and how they structure things. Because there was another case as well with another teacher in another different school, which I saw a video on Instagram. She did the same thing. She was okay, we're talking about slavery, so I can say that word. We don't even say, no one can say that word. It's absolutely disgusting that these people in these positions that are around children, and they're molding their brains for the future. And if there's even white people with them, they're going to think, oh, it's okay, I can use it. I'm talking about this subject. I get a free pass to say the N word. No, you don't.
That's what he was trying to do.
Yeah, this is what it is.
You can say that word and pretend that you're saying that word, so they can be like, oh, but no, I meant this one.
And I don't mean that. Yeah.
So my thing is this, because to me, it seems like that people are very tolerant. Yes, we're very accepting. Now, if this was another culture, so for example, if he was trying to say certain words which are derogatory to the Jewish community, can you imagine the uproar that would have happened if, or even the Muslim religion, if they said certain things which were derogatory to their religion? Can you imagine the uproar that would have happened if he did that?
I think it's more weighted the Jews, really, to be honest with you, than the...
Yeah, it's more the Jews than the Muslims, because the Jewish people have what can I say? They have a community, and as well within the how do I say it? Like, within the system that we're in, they have a lot to play in it.
Structure, yeah, their own structure,
and they have a lot to play in it as well. So if you offend them, a lot of money is being taken away, and a lot of things are happening that you're not gonna like. Yeah. Whereas when it comes to Muslims, they get at Muslims, but. And I think, to be honest, I feel like the way they get at Muslims as well, they hit at them hard when it comes to Muslims. And I feel like Muslims can get away about it, but then they're quick to be called terrorists. Oh, they go on and on. And I feel like that's why the communities like to just stick to themselves. But I feel like the uproar is more. I think like no, I don't really hear anything about the Indian Asian community in that way. They don't really, But I feel like when it comes to Jewish community, yeah, they don't play. If they make a noise, I'm telling you, after when they made noises at Man in Labour when he said to leave, he couldn't even run anymore. I can't remember his name. He said something about. Yeah, I think it was Corbyn. He had to go and sit down because as soon as he did that, no, I wasn't on. But if they did it to a black person, he wouldn't get as in trouble that quickly, that fast in that situation like that. We're allowed to get slapped and hit, and until someone dies, even when someone dies in our community, it's still not.
But you know what I think it is, yeah, because I just feel like that. When it came to, sorry, I'm changing something, but like George Floyd, yeah, and that whole incident, I just felt to myself like, I get it, the American police, and they can be brutal, but imagine how much fear you have just to stand there and just literally watch someone die. Like that much fear that's put in you, like as not just as a human, but as a black human, just standing there and being like, if I go in, they might try to shoot me as well. But if it was they're doing it to a Caucasian person, then to go up there, they'll be like, stop, get off here and blah. Probably even try to wrestle with the police.
It's not just our problem; it's their problem as well.
That's what I'm saying. When we do say something, it's like it's a problem. Oh, she's causing a problem. Why she raising awareness to X, Y, and Z? Like you're the problem because you spoke up. Yeah. Why should I be the problem? But do you see how they acted? So after the
tournament,
the tournament, they acted like animals. Like what are these?
Young boys got stabbed.
Yeah, it was we spoke about in Chadwell, somewhere in Chadwell, London. They stabbed like 12 black people or something like that. So it was quite a few.
And what's happening has the government
disgusting.
The government have said nothing at all.
And there was no police presence. Nothing was. When they were writing, when we got to the finals, they were kind of not writing, but they were like holding up traffic in central London. They brought the riot police out. But when you hear black people getting attacked, there's no one. They're nowhere to be seen.
We're going to move on to our main topic: single mothers. Now, I'll put. Now, I'm going to put out a disclaimer. Yes, this is not an attack on single mothers, so please don't take offense. We're just going to have a civil conversation, just so we can understand. Yes. So, the first question I'll put to Natural Love Song. Why do some women use the children as pawns against their ex-partner? Why do they do that?
Why? Because they have their own issues that are undealt with, so they just lash out. Because I don't see why anyone should do that. However, it can be as a result of being mistreated by the father of your child. That doesn't justify it. That does not justify it, because at the end of the day, when you withhold your child from the other parent, the only person who's really getting hurt at the end of the day the most is the child, because unless that other parent is causing direct harm to the child, whether mentally, emotionally, or physically, they need that connection to their other parent, and not having it is detrimental to them, like on many levels. So if you have been mistreated by the partner, your ex-partner or whatever it is, your ex-partner, if they're single parent, then it's like you need to take time to heal and whatever like that. But you can't hold that animosity and then use the kid as a stick to kind of beat them back. Because at the end of the day, you're hurting the child more than anything. I've seen that happen to men in my life. The mother of their children holding their children from them, and it's so painful to watch. I mean, there's no justification for it, but I can understand it being your own trauma. That you think, well, I'm gonna get the last laugh. You think that you've got issues. You've got issues, or they've been really abusive towards you, so you're bitter because of that. I can understand all of the reasons, but it doesn't justify it.
Okay. Same question to Shayla.
Pardon, sorry, what was the question again?
So the question is, why do some women use the child as a pawn once the relationship goes sour?
Can I just say as well, it's not only the women that act like that, it's the men too. Some men are Mitches. But anyways, let me.
I didn't hear that properly. What did you say? I didn't hear.
It's not
what?
just the women, it is the men as well.
Yeah.
So,
in most
on the
cases.
question, we are currently just speaking about women at this point.
Yeah.
We know that.
Some women, like, they're bitter. Some women are bitter. I'm not happy that the man gets to live his life and do what he's doing and go where he wants to go, and they're stuck with their child 5 days, 6 days a week, and he only plays a part-time role and then gets glorified for it. And that part-time 2 hours or 3-4 hours that they get glorified for it as a little weekend dad, and then the child comes back to the mom, gives the mom a whole load of attitude, and they have to be dealing with it and putting up with it. But then the dad, you know, like I said, gets glorified. Maybe that's some of the reasons. Obviously, it doesn't justify it, but then, and then there's, yeah, that could happen. And then sometimes as well, you know, it works both ways. I feel like the guy sometimes will give off a certain energy to the mother, be rude, disrespectful, but then wants to look like the angel in the child's eyes. And then the child, that obviously the mom will probably be like, you know what, I'm going to teach you. It just, I think it takes two to tango. It works both ways. Obviously, there are women out there that are bitter and spiteful and want their ex back, and that's in their twisted mind. That's the way to make it work, or to have to make the father of the child see them more and do things. Because there's a lot of women that would do dumb things just so the father is in the house, actually in the house, coming over, and, you know, just to be in the house with them to help them do stuff, or if they know that their partner's got a woman now or another person, they will do things just so they can, you know, get in between the relationship. Some women, it's that I feel like that all comes from how they was raised, what they've seen in their household. Because a lot of these single mothers, not stereotypes, but they've been raised by single mothers. And a lot of them, their mothers, some of them are bitter, probably don't like men anymore, told them men are this, men are that, or, you know, also I've heard some people say, you know, if the man is with someone, like, you know, he's not married, so you can try and do your thing. Like, a lot of crazy things that they've been taught from their mothers and things. So they go out there and the horriblest thing is they are causing their child harm because they are installing that, especially the ones with females. Children, they're installing that mindset into their child, and the child grows up doing exactly the same thing, or then the son grows up thinking women are like that and they're crazy. So then you have this whole back and forth thing where you have a child that's grown up with a mother like that, or you have a son that's grown up with a mother like that, and then when they come together and have a relationship again with someone else, it's just toxicity, and then it's just a cycle. But I think it comes from how you've been brought up and what you've been seeing around you. That's when you start displaying that behavior of being that kind of woman disturbance in your partner's life.
I see you, Shayla. I see that you were struggling not to mention the man.
Men can be Mitches. Men can be the reverse. Men can be the reverse. The woman could be with her man being okay, chilling, being fine.
But the question is
and
about
the man
the
will
woman.
come and disturb.
So, though I'm not trying to negate, you know, the impact that the man has, but at this point, we are directing it on the women. So, same question to Lily. I can see Natural Lawson's got something to say about that.
I'm just wondering if you're going to ask, why are there so many single moms? Like, where are the men? What happened?
They left their crazy.
Maybe it's coming later, Shayla. We'll see.
That is coming. Don't worry. It is coming.
It needs to come.
So, Lily, same question to you.
Yeah, I just think it's about the pettiness, really. It's like to do whatever you did to me so I can get you back, or it might just be out of like envy. I just feel like it's from a negative perspective. There's no way it could be good because, like, if that was me, you won't be able to liaise with me. It'll be through someone else. So forget that. So I think it's just from the person just they're not very like friendly with each other anymore, and there's something that happened or is happening, the reason why they're acting like that for that poor behavior, because I can never believe.
Yeah, man can be, it's true. Yeah, man can be.
Lily,
Yeah.
there are many different scenarios which, unfortunately, relationships go sour. As everybody knows, in the beginning, it's lovely, it's great, fantastic. Those hormones are just popping, everyone's in love. That person, I can't wait to see them every day. And then years roll by, suddenly you've got someone who are sneaking around with your friend. He leaves you, who he once loved, and you've got a child with him, and he's now seeing your friend. So can you understand why some women are bitter?
Yeah, I can understand, but I feel like these things deserve a proper conversation. And I get it, sometimes the man's not going to be receptive to want to sit down with you and speak everything out, especially depending if he's moved on and got a girlfriend, depending on how long you've taken to address the situation. But I do feel like for you to be able to co-parent, you need, and just to like live as a normal person, not have any guilt or whatever, you need to be able to just have a conversation with that person so it clears the air, and that's that. And if you want to, go back and forth with a lot of different things throughout after that, but you've gotten that one thing cleared up, then if they want to do that, then they can do that. If the woman wants to do that, she can do that. But
sorry, I'm stuck on you went with my friend and then you try to think that mean you gonna be cool.
But why do you care?
Let me no.
Yeah, it's true. Why would you care? Yeah.
Nell said, right, that he was with you and he snuck off with your friend while he was with her, right? So she's probably bitter because she didn't get to book him up before he left, because you think you're going to do that to me. That's not happening. I'm going to need to smack you upside your head. And then...
Whoa. Chill.
On the behind
Violence. Yeah.
Now the views.
I'm use my child to get you back to that, but I don't guess I'm gonna care. How dare you? You're gonna step foot in my yard. Come in.
Yeah,
my
but that
yard.
should have been already dealt with.
No.
Like, why do you care? Like, just if you want to disrespect, wait, hold on. If you want to disrespect me, okay, fine. Let's have a conversation about how you disrespected me. Wait, hold on.
1 second, please.
No, but you chose to do that thing, yeah? You're in control of yourself, your emotions, your body, whatever. And you want to go and do that. So guess what? My friend is locked off, and I'll have a conversation with my friend as well separately, and I'll have a conversation with that person separately. But I know how you are as a person. So I get it. You're my daughter or my son's, Father, but listen, like that's it. Why do I need to keep on going around everything? Like, it's done.
It's so easy to say.
Forget that.
Have a child,
no,
yeah?
forget that. But when you've been in previous relationships,
1 second, Lily.
What now? Because you said what you said, I put my mind into being in that position, and I can understand how a woman would then, I think. I can understand how it would look that the woman's holding her child back for the man to spite him. But in actual fact, she's probably not holding her child back to spite him. She's holding the child back because you're stupid. And you think I'm going to have my child around you when you're doing stupid activities like that. Do you want to bring little scally girl around my child? No, you can take a time out for a little bit. You can come. I can't.
That's just ridiculous.
Forgetting about the child.
1 second,
wait, hold on. I'm talking about it as in being, it happened to me today, tomorrow, and I'm not talking about months later. Obviously, after a while, I'll be like, do you know what? You can they can still see their child. Granted. But every time you see me, there's gonna be a problem. So don't talk to me. Take your pitney and go on, because I don't have time for that.
But why should it be negative?
Because you was in my bed, in my house, and then you want to go sleep with my brethren. Me and you're not friends.
Yeah, I get you're not friends, but I'm getting you're not friends. But I'm saying, who cares about all of that stuff? Like, you've done, okay, you've done that, yeah, and you've hurt. Wait, hold on, you've hurt your family. You've done that and you've
Do you know
hurt
who you
your
sound
family.
like? The woman that looked after a man and the man would you put it down with a mad black woman. People sit down.
No,
That's
you-
not happening.
No,
Okay,
guess
okay.
what? I don't need to,
Lily?
Leah, I don't need to speak to him after that. I'm saying he can speak to my mum. They can speak to each other, and I'll text my mum. Yeah, tell him this.
It's not
X,
like
Y,
even you're
and
not
Z.
just gonna leave
Like,
like that.
no.
Shayla,
he can't
okay,
leave like
okay,
that
Shayla,
because he won't
Lily,
have
one
any
second,
access
one
to
second, one
get
second,
that.
1 second. 'Cause we can just do a comedy sketch just on you two alone.
No, why just upset me? It really touched me. I can feel that.
Women, it's
One
you
second,
two
Shayla,
against
one
each other.
second,
Come
one
on,
second.
man.
So what I'm gonna do is
Sorry.
I'm gonna bring in the only man in the episode. So
Yeah.
Tobias, what's your thoughts on the women withholding the child because of their bad feelings towards the man?
I mean, everyone's touched on the subject about it with what they've said. I think it's a lot of it depends on the emotional jealousy that the woman has. And obviously, a woman would be jealous of the fact that the man's moving on. The man might have got with somebody else, and the child is there, is her only connection to that man. And then she's able to manipulate that child or that situation with the child to her advantage. Yeah, it's not healthy. Obviously, we know it's how it's been passed on from generations. Toxic behavior shouldn't be done, you know, because of the effect it has on the child, you know, just from what I know from experience. But yeah, it's just a abhorrent behavior, really, is what I could say. But they basically touched on everything, to be honest.
1 second, Lily. So you heard what Shayla said, yes, in response to her partner leaving her and going with a friend.
Right.
If you notice, Shayla's whole energy shifted. So first she said that, you know, that the reason why lots of women, you know, do it because they're either bitter and also their upbringing and so on. But now that her emotions are involved, she is not feeling the partner now seeing the child. What's your view on that?
No, but I didn't say that. I didn't say that. He can still see the child, but every time I see him, it's probably better that I don't go because there's going to be a problem that's going to feed the child not being able to see.
But what do you need to say to them?
One second, One thing you got to remember, one thing you guys got to remember is, right, like it could be the other way around as well. Like you've got to think about how that emotion, that negative emotion or that hurt that you have, you're going to bleed onto your child. And the child's still in the middle of it all, regardless of your regardless of the stupid activity either partner would have done, and even if it was your friend, you need to put that to the side. Where you're an adult now, you're a mother or you're a father, to exploit the situation and just to create this toxicity, you're gonna what's that word? Contort the mind of the child and the emotions. So then that will affect, if the child sees you arguing with the father over whatever it is, your child is just going to be absolutely horrendously messed up emotionally. Like when they have their own relationship, and it affects your relationship with them as well, your own personal relationship, because there's going to be some form of resentment at later stages in life. You know, my mum's so angry all the time. I don't want to listen to my mum. I go to my dad. If a dad starts acting up, you know, you just got to be adults. You could have a middle person, like a mediator, like Lily said, and you can get them to resolve whatever dispute or discussions about the upbringing of the child. But you shouldn't do it directly or the child. Now, I never said you. Let's say we're just saying hypothetically saying. Yeah.
So,
but then what happens?
One thing, say Lily, yes. Natural last one. You got a point quickly.
Yeah, I was gonna say that at times you have to understand that closure and nice conversations are just not going to happen. Like you could have the best will in the world to say, let's sit down and let's be adults, and the other person ain't on the same page with you. It's pure fire. I'm bringing fire every time I see you on site. Like it's but I'm not gonna talk. You can have the let's have a kumbaya and then be adults about this. Someone else is gonna say, boy, it's above me now. Every time I see you, I'm licking you out.
It's on.
And I don't mean it that way. Like
on smoke,
you know,
all the time.
On smoke, I'm not gonna fight them.
Well, you
no,
just say
I'm not,
One second, everybody.
I'm not saying that's you, Shayla. I'm talking about just people.
In general.
People. Yeah, in general. At the end of the day, it's all about ego, because I've seen in other situations where it's flipped. We're talking generally about like women withholding the but like somebody else mentioned, that it can be the dad. Like once the woman gets into a new relationship, then all of a sudden the monetary maintenance was here, and all of a sudden, well, she's got a man now, so like what? Was he the father? No, he wasn't the father. So are you like, it's about your mindset towards the whole thing, and you can bring your own trauma to the situation, and you just end up perpetuating the trauma, because your kid is going to look at you and think, one day I don't have a relationship with my other parent, and it's partially because of you, because you wanted to be difficult. Do you know what I'm saying?
But
Lily, you got a point?
just said there,
Once I say Shayla.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I was just gonna add, like, it could be also, say, like, the father, he's like doing bad stuff on the side, and then she just doesn't want her child to like be involved or be around. So it's like, you know, even though he can't come in the house because she doesn't want him in the house, the child can't be seen with him anywhere because like he's a target. You get what I mean as well? That could be one.
There is a
I get that. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna shift slightly. So I'm gonna give you some stats. In 2019, 19.2 million families, it is 2.9 million are lone parents, which are 14.9% of the UK families. Now, it says the number of people living alone in the UK has increased by a fifth, driven mainly by the increase in men between 45 to 64 years old. So they're now deciding to live by themselves. Yes?
Mm.
And there's another stat, unfortunately, which states that when it comes to the ethnic groups, the Caribbeans have got the highest proportion of single parents. Now, why do you think that is, Shayla?
I was gonna answer.
Why?
Why do you think that
I don't
the
know.
Caribbeans,
I
out
don't
of
know.
all the other ethnic groups, have got the highest proportion of single parents?
I don't know, but if I think that if we also read stats on Caribbeans in the university, it's probably similar. There must be a correlation. I don't know. So a lot of them don't go to university, from what I've seen. A lot of them don't go to university either. A lot of the men are not in the child's lives. I'm half Caribbean. I don't want to offend anybody. I honestly don't know what is going on there. I don't know.
So, okay, same question to Lily, sorry.
It's been a long day. No, I think it's just because do you know what? Okay, no. Like from what I've experienced, right? I feel like that sometimes Caribbeans, I don't know what it is, but when it comes to communication, it's not their first language. Like, you know, just to be able to communicate something to somebody, and it's more very like tough nut. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, I just feel like everything's a fight with words. So that's why I think so.
I think they're part of Solomon's tribe.
Sorry?
I don't know.
Peter, sorry?
I think they're part of King Solomon's people then, because I don't know.
That's from what I've experienced.
Okay, there is another stat which says when it comes to mixes in the UK, though the Caribbean are the lowest population, they have the highest mix with white people, even though they have the lowest population. Can you see that there's some type of correlation between there being so many single mothers, them having lots of sort of children with different women? Is there a reason behind that, Tobias?
God,
I don't know really, but I just want to say that I just think that I think with the culture of Caribbean men, single Caribbean men, they do like to plant their seed quite frivolously. Like some of them, not all of them, you know. So it's why, you know, and they do intermix a lot with the white ladies, white women, shall I say? So yeah, that's what I can say on that. To be honest with you,
I've got one answer.
Natural Love Song, have you got a reason for it? Because it seems that everyone's trying to be politically correct and not actually, not actually, you know, say what the reason is.
All right. So from what I've seen and understand, I'm from a Caribbean background. There is less of a emphasis and a historical trend of building strong families that are going to stay together. And if we trace it on back, then we could say it's linked to slavery, because literally you could have your wife, you could have your children, and then the next minute the enslaver decides to take your wife, send them over there, take your children, send them over there. So like internally over time, I'm sure, you know, you develop this thing within you that, okay, it's beautiful, I found someone, but I know that any moment it could just be gone. So maybe you don't deeply invest in it as much as you could, and then you're literally taken and made a breeder to go around as a buck to go and make more, you know, whether you want to or not. You know, going back to all the way back in slavery, like literally you're a young man, you're virile, so we're going to take you and make you mate with all these different female, you know, all these different women on my plantation so I can get more strong workers like you. You have to disconnect mentally and emotionally from that act if you know what it's going to produce. Like your seed is going to produce more workers to be enslaved. Like that is trauma. And then you internalize that, and then all of that stuff, you know, kind of perpetuates, and then you now come to England, everything is different, and it's a whole new world. And then, you know, the white women have been exalted as this untouchable thing. So, oh, now we're okay, she's within reach. Oh, she actually wants me. There's a lot. It's a lot.
Though I do agree with some of your points, how do you think that is affecting the single Black Caribbean mothers?
I think it would harden you. It would harden you, because the single most disrespected person on the planet, someone said, is the Black woman. Like, from all sides, you're gonna be placed at the bottom of a hierarchy, and then even within your own community, there's a proportion or a portion of it that are going to still treat you as though you're less than. And I'm not discounting the amazing Black men that do love on us and do treat their children well and treat their partners well, because they are there as well. But overall, in the whole wider scheme of things, you know, we get mistreated more so than other groups.
Okay. Shayla?
Can I just say, I was told by a Caribbean man, okay, the reason why he likes to populate, breed so many women and be in different races is because that will help the earth have more Black people on it. That's what I was told. So I don't know if that is a mentality that's been installed in a lot of them. I don't know, but then I don't know.
Yeah, but you can't say that though, because anything can change.
So
he just wanted to breed up, but that's an excuse.
And that was not just, I mean, that was referred to them breeding up with non-Blacks. And like they do it with Black, but they want to do it with lots of different cultures just to mix up.
So what I will say is this. Now, I think a bit of it is down to what Natural Love Song said about culturally, if you think about either the Indian culture or think about either the Chinese culture, if you start to go around doing things like that, though I'm not saying it doesn't happen in the cultures, because it does, but it somehow seemed to be culturally unacceptable for men to go around and just start breeding up all these different women. Whereas, unfortunately, in Caribbean culture, it is now deemed acceptable, you know, subconsciously. And unfortunately, you know, even when you think about us in school and you think about all the Caribbeans, how many of them had both their parents in the house? Very a minute amount. And a lot of it is down to our culture, whereas it's just a acceptable thing for the man to go around and just breed.
Somebody say literally, oh, this person, they're having so much trouble with their partner, they're cheating, but you know, they're Jamaican, you know, that's what they do. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
This
This is what I'm saying, like about the whole communication thing, right? Like, yeah, communication can't stop anyone from doing something that you don't really want them to do, whatever. But I'm saying, like, when you got certain standards and you don't want that for your life, like as a Jamaican woman, and you don't want that for your life, and you get with a Jamaican man, like, you know, you can kind of suss out what type of person they are. I feel like some women just walk into situations with their eyes open and just feel like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna have a kid with him, like he seems like the right person, he's got, like, you know, he's himself together and X, Y, and Z, forgetting about, like, you need to have these conversations with his friends, family, be around him. I get it, not everyone has the same values, but I'm saying, like, if you go for someone like, you know, a Jamaican, and you hear about the stereotypical Jamaican man, I mean, at least kind of, you know, prepare yourself to ask him questions and be around him to suss him out, to see what type of Jamaican man he is, because then
Once again, Shayla, sorry. Go on, Lily, so finish.
Yeah, but to just see what type of Jamaican man he is, because, you know, there's a lot of some Caribbean men that are just, you know, they're into the songs, like what type of songs does he listen to? Is it, you know, I don't know, talking about daggering, or like give me an African girl, give me a Caribbean girl, like he wants all of the girls of the world, and he's there listening to it, and you think this man's gonna stay, I mean, and he knows all of the lyrics, like you just need to check in with that.
What about when they want the green cards? Sorry.
Oh God.
You know, there's some of them that's...
Wait.
One second. I don't want to just paint this bad picture or stereotype of Jamaican men.
Caribbean.
There are a lot of good Jamaican men. So, Tobias, do you think that the single mother should be speaking negatively about the father in front of the child?
No, not at all, because obviously that would have a negative, detrimental effect of how the child views the father. And then that will then go on. If the mother implies this to the child, then the child's going to grow up thinking that about men. Think that your dad's no good, and then, you know, all these type of other insecurities that will come along with it. It would just be obviously totally destructive for the child.
So, Natural Love Song, same question to you.
No, I don't believe that it's positive when either parent speaks negatively about the child's parent, the other parent. At the end of the day, as much as you may have all rights and all, you know, it's justified for you to say everything, yeah, it's not worth it. It's not worth it, because it's gonna come back on you at the end of the day. And if the other party is worth all this mudslinging, then the child is inevitably gonna find out what the character of their parent is as they grow up anyway. So you being the mudslinger, you only make it kind of worse for yourself at the end of the day, but it's hard.
Shayla, same question to you.
No, definitely not recommended. Not acceptable on any level, because I feel like you should let your child form their own opinion on their parents, and allow them to grow up seeing their parent however they want to see them. When they're older, if the parent isn't a great parent, they'll see that by themselves. They don't need to be molded into what you as the mother or the father feel or have experienced against the partner at all.
So does that include even if he cheats with your friend?
Yeah, even if he cheated with my friend, I'm still not going to say to my child, your dad is this. I'm not going to do that.
Whatever.
The child will...
She's going to hear it though.
The
That's for the group chat and your girlfriends.
I would actually group chat with my girlfriends. It would be me and him on site when the child's not around. You know, it's never gonna be, and my child's gonna be there, and I'm gonna be cussing him out. I wouldn't ever do that, because what comes out of your mouth and how you display and act, yeah, the child's gonna adapt the attitude and think it's okay to then disrespect their father and then talk to you anyhow and be like, well, you talk like that, and then go to school with that attitude. It's also gonna become a cycle thing. You just have to make sure that you keep, when you're in your zone with your child, you keep yourself, your decorum, and keep yourself right. But if you want to pop off when the child's not there, papa.
No, I don't. Yeah, you can, but I don't believe that's healthy, because you're just continuing on that negative.
Between the man and the woman, they need to recognize what they have going on.
You need that.
One at a time.
I'm popping off. End of story. If my child ain't there, what? Yes, you did what you did. Have you apologized? No, so don't chat to me.
So you're gonna do domestics outside.
Take your picnic and go away. Don't chat to me.
But when does that trauma, that hatred end? When does that end? Because you got to have peace.
The hatred ends when God decides it to be watered down and I no longer care anymore. But at that point, listen, as long as I'm not doing it in front of my child, it's fine. As long as my child doesn't see the negative, it's fine. But I'm saying I'm still a human being. It's like if my friend, I'll be a human being. If I'm vexed with you, I'm vexed with you. Over time, it will go away. But you hurt me, so allow me to be hurt. No, there's no man.
So Shayla, the thing is, I think that you'll find it very hard to try to switch it on and off just when your child is there or when your child is gone, because
I've been there. I can. Trust me, I can. But you get over it and you let go. But you don't be bitter with it. You just let it go, but just know it's on site. Like, don't try me. I'm not the one.
Sounds like he's bringing it up all over again.
Exactly.
He's bringing it up. I feel it in my chest. Like, I know.
What if he apologizes then?
If he apologizes, that's what you're supposed to do. I've been waiting for it. That's what I've been waiting for.
Okay.
But until then,
can he apologize but still see her?
You can always still see her. See her when I'm mad at him. See her when
with the child. Your friend and the child.
Them together played Happy Families.
Your friend and the child.
Oh, your friend. Okay.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
That's his new partner.
Yeah.
That's actually so disloyal. It's disgusting.
The same way I wouldn't have men around my child. In the same way he should have women around his child until he knows that person is going to be there. It's a long-term situation. But if you're out there pussyfooting and being dusty dogs with every woman, yeah, then you should know better. I'll have a problem with that. Don't bring that woman around my child, because you want to be bringing all these women and you're right.
That's why you don't have friends around your man.
That's why you can't just anyone. That's why it's important for people, disclaimer, before you have kids with anybody, make sure you're on the same wavelength as in terms of values and everything, because trust me, some people are nasty, and I have dirty people around your picnic, and then you want to come tell me that I can't have no man, and then you can have all these Tom, Dick, and Harrys around your picnic. This is too much, guys.
Yes.
So Taylor, that was a long rant. You cannot control what he does.
It's true.
Yeah. So you may not like it, but you got to bear in mind that that is still his child. So you can't control what he does and what he does not do. That's one point. Yes. The second
That's
point.
what's important to make sure you have a child with.
He did that on purpose. If he does that, he's doing it on purpose. He's
Why?
getting with your friend on purpose. He's
Why?
getting with your friend on purpose.
No, it's not.
We've been together for how long? Yeah, because if you know my buttons, yeah, we've been together for how long, and you go and do that, get with my friend. Sorry, but you've done this on purpose. You thought my friend was initially attractive anyway, but then you just used it even more as an opportunity to stir the pot a bit as well.
That's why it's important to know who you are being with.
Yeah.
That's your responsibility as well. You shouldn't just be laying down with anyone.
One second, Tobias.
Sorry. I wouldn't be, from what Nell said, I wouldn't allow, because I know what it was like. I now know from my mistakes that you need to make sure that when you're with someone that their values are on the same level. Because you know that when they're raising, you're not around, they're raising our child on their side of the thing. It's going to be similar to the way you're raising your child, so they have the same values, and there'll be no beefing. But when you're with people that like to be with, you know, his aunt or friend when you're together, that is disastrous, because you know that when it's time for you to separate and he's in his household, you can't really be telling the man you can't have this person around our child, because it's going to start a tornado of problems. There's always going to be problems in a situation like that when you both have different values. It's always, that's why you need to make sure the person that you're getting with understand, or just, you know, I always say to people, if you're gonna put yourself in those situations and you knew what kind of person you were dealing with, but you still allowed it anyway, when it comes to that time in life when you guys separate and he does what he's doing on his field, be quiet, because you knew this. Just be quiet, because it's gonna be causing problems and drama, and you're gonna want to light people's houses up, and it's not nice.
Boy,
that one seemed like Shayla felt that one in her chest, boy.
From
Whoa,
experience,
that
innit?
was some serious one there, isn't it?
Like dealing with somebody like that, it will draw all your energy dealing with someone that is like that, especially when they are spiteful and they want to get at you all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Of course.
I think
Okay,
you just
so-
have to leave that one alone altogether.
Yeah.
Like, don't even interact with that person
Yeah,
at all.
Sometimes
No,
this
you
is what,
don't need to
this is what
do
I've
that.
said before. Some people wear a mask, and some of them work for a long time as well. And then when the
Right.
mask come off, it's too late. You're already done. Breed up, and the baby.
child, yeah.
And then when you see the monster, you're like, Lord, what this cross is
Yeah.
now. This cross is now. Oh, as Richard Evans would say.
Sorry.
I'm gonna direct this to Natural Love Song.
Uh-oh.
Why do some women, they will happily sleep with you, have a child, but don't want to be in a relationship with you?
Huh?
Yeah, that's
Where
the new thing.
Yes,
Where
it's
did
true.
you- Oh, wait. Is this the Nick Cannon situation?
No. It wasn't
Money.
actually.
I didn't even hear that.
Seriously, no joke, seriously. I'm not.
Beyond me, I don't know. Somebody else have the answers. I have no idea.
Okay,
You
so
have a child, which is a lifelong commitment and link to somebody, not be willing to be in a, I don't understand. Doesn't compute. No.
same question to Tobias then.
With certain women, they do that because they just want that child in their life, because obviously that certain point of having a child, or they just don't want all the hassle of the relationship with the man, depending on the man, and they want a particular child from a particular man. Like most, let's say, English women might want a mixed race child, but a lot of women do that because they just don't want none of the responsibilities of a relationship, and they just want the child on their own, and they're just using a man like someone said it earlier before, like back in the slavery days. It's basically like a breed. They just breed they just want someone to breed them, basically.
Like
So-
you're older and you're like, I just need a baby now before all my eggs scramble.
Well,
Yeah,
it's part of it, yeah.
fair enough.
Okay. So I'm going to throw a slight caveat to that. So I don't agree with Tobias, though what Tobias said was correct. But in this scenario where we've got lots of people who just sleep with each other and don't use protection and end up pregnant, but they don't want a relationship with that person, it was just meant to be sex.
Already just some great person, isn't it? That's why they're like, okay, I made a mistake. Clearly, I made a mistake. This is some Tegreg, so there's no point.
I
So-
feel like it was temporary from the beginning, but it just happened. And then, okay, but I don't want to be with you. You're not the person that I want to be with. You're not the type of person. So I want to be with someone else. Like, I don't mind doing stuff with you, but, you're not it.
For those type of women, what would you say? Because if you want to go and have fun, surely protect yourself. But why don't they? Question to Shayla.
Why? I don't want to answer this question. No,
Why is
because,
that?
why? Because maybe I don't know.
They want the genes. They want the genes.
Okay, there's so many different answers to this. One, it could be because it just feels better without it. Two,
they don't mind. They probably don't want to have a baby, but if they don't just want, maybe they don't mind having a child, but the person they're sleeping with has got good prospects if they did. 3, it could be because they just don't mind. Like, you know, just want to have a good time. If it happens, it happens.
Good time.
And I think mainly it probably happens with women that are older as well. That are happens with a lot of women that are older because they want to have a child, but it's like they're not forcing it. But if it happens, it happens, you know. And then but they don't want the relationship, and I can understand that. They don't want the relationship. They just want to have the child. But if they're gonna sleep with someone and have fun, make the person have good. I don't know. Some women have the person have
exactly.
Good prospects. If they do have a child, end up having a child with them. But the initial aspect is to just have someone that's there that they can have feedback. You know, some people just want to feel something. So they just want to be with someone, not in a relationship, but have someone there that can take, you know, they can feel something with and make them feel a bit connected, emotionally connected. And then that's all they want, and that's it. And I'm done. I'm good. Thank you very much. Bam, bam.
Yeah, I'm saying some people do get disconnect from the physical act of sexual intercourse and it feels like that's nothing to them. They don't care. There are people that do that, whether male or female. And I'm thinking about the guys that are like, oh, I just, you know, I want you. They say all the sweet words and everything, and you know, they don't want to have sexual intercourse with the protection because, you know, it just dims the moment. It doesn't feel the same, like Shayla was saying there a little while ago. So all of these things play into it. But the main thing, trauma. That's all I can say. Like, I need to feel something. I just want to feel loved. If it's for tonight, only for tonight, oh, whatever. Like, you know, it's trauma. You were not loved. Or you are craving something that you saw a glimpse and then it was gone again. You're ever chasing. Like, were you the person that was brought up in a house without a father? You're seeking love. You're seeking affirmation, even if it's only for the short term.
You're bringing a child into the scenario though as well, though.
Yeah,
that makes it even more.
Because the person who you done that with is you know.
I think
there can be the case. Like, I'm not saying that's everyone.
Yeah.
But you can wake up and then you're like, oh my God, this was the worst decision I could have made. Like,
yeah, but then you've got,
or whatever, you know.
But then you've got 18 years to deal with that person.
Well, they knew what they were doing.
And so has the man. It's two people laying down. So at the end of the day, the way you're posing your question is kind of putting the responsibility on the woman, and at the end of the day, it's mostly in her hands. Exactly. But there are situations that are coercive as well. So, you know,
statistics, weren't it?
But technically,
you can't put the onus on the woman because the two of you laid down.
No,
the two of you laid down.
The two of us laid down, but when it comes down to the crunch, if I turn around and say I don't want the child, what choice do I have?
Foster care.
No.
The man doesn't have no choice.
The question is, if you become pregnant, and I turn around and I tell you that I don't want the child, what choice do I have?
To leave, and so does she. She can leave too when the child's
out. Wait, hold on.
Repeat your phrasing of it.
So you said you didn't want to pull out.
You are now pregnant. You knew from the jump that I didn't want any children. Yes, but I wasn't willing to cover up. Yes. You now become pregnant, and I'm telling you, I'm not interested. Yeah. Now you're telling me that you're going to have the child. What choice do I have in the matter?
You have the choice not to be a dad that don't want to be there, and I have a choice to be a mom that's going to send my child to foster care. So I'm going to be there ever.
And I have a choice to send you a bill until the 8th.
Many choices to make.
I have a choice to try to send him the bill, at which point he's going to say, denied, I told you I didn't want no kids.
The court would say something else.
That's true. That is true.
You got to find me first, isn't it?
You're forgetting that.
You're making it bad for the side job in that comment.
You got to find me first, he said.
But
Both parents can leave. The mum will have to give birth, but at the end of the day, there's so many options out there that can be the end result.
Yeah, but imagine the effect that's going to have on the child if they're then adopted or they're in foster care. They grow up, neither parent wanted them.
No, but
Sometimes that works out better for the child.
you're bringing up the effects. But what about the effect that Hatch's going to have on the child when the dad doesn't want to be there? So what, I have to stay there because you don't want to be there? No, we both have a choice. Just because we both lay down doesn't mean you get the right to just walk off and I can't walk off either. We can both walk away.
But
And
he
yes,
doesn't care anyway. So
we're
what's
both going to
that?
have an affected child because guess what? You was leaving me anyway. So
Okay.
what's the point?
Due to carelessness. Due to carelessness.
so on that note, I'm gonna thank you all for attending. It's been a great episode. And would you like to give out your socials? Natural Love Song.
Hold on. Were we going to address the men at some point in this episode? What happened?
Mums.
It's not.
Well,
Next one.
You know,
That's why.
So this
Bad behaviour.
so he said we were going to get to that, but all right.
so
All right.
we will get to that in
Leaving a
episode
topic.
5.
Leaving a child, leaving a woman, leaving everything.
Oh my god.
Yeah, don't give a man the reason to then, innit? Like that.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. When you come out with energy like that, what's wrong? Where's the love? I don't even know where's the love. Shit.
Your friend arm because she's there giving love.
Okay. So I'll tell you what. So
To close that fire.
yes.
So we all know that if the woman acts as bad, so can the man. It's just a matter of the scenario of the situation. Men are just as bad as women. Women are just as bad as men.
Based off Natural Love Song's point, we will touch on the man in episode 5.
Yeah,
So-
definitely.
On that
Get ready.
point,
Get ready, girls.
No, I never beat you lot down. You got to bring some more guys in here or something else.
Do this to you, Tobias.
It's fine. That's all right. I've got years of experience.
so
No, I
you-
know. It's a conversation, isn't it? It's a conversation.
It's
Not everyone is not. everyone is-
as soon as Natural Love Song said that, you could just see the hurt on Tobias's face, man. He just felt that, man.
Bro, no, I know.
I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it.
I'm a chest plate here, bro. I've not got arm is all plated up here, so I'm no, and I have to deal with that. It's all good.
Okay, so Shayla, please give out your socials.
It's her.style, STYLE. That's my socials. I'm soon going to be back on YouTube as well, and I'll give that later, next time.
Okay, so Lily.
Yeah, so it's Lee Markella, LeeMarkella, and then it's my cooking, CWLee.cook, so CWLEE.cooks. Why are you looking at me? What's wrong with me? I'm not.
Okay, next Natural Love Song.
I'm at Natural Love Song on IG and YouTube.
Okay, Tobias.
So I don't hand out no socials.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
So
Leave. Not be
I'd like
found.
to thank you all for attending, and I
Brother.
will see you soon on episode 5.
Ciao.
Alright, all?
Bye.